So this is the time of year when TV shows do segments on cooking turkeys and sides and desserts. Well, that's not us, at least not this time. But we are using the Thanksgiving, the holiday season, to talk about food, but not necessarily the Horn of Plenty. Joining us is Kristen Wild. She's CEO of Operation Food Search, which is working to address issues of hunger and food insecurity. And again, this is the time when we think a lot about this. We see turkey giveaways, we see buffets for the homeless, for the needy, Salvation Army, all sorts of groups. Is this really a busy time of year or just a time of year when we're thinking about it?
It's both. It definitely is, I think, more front of mind for people, but it is a busy time. Families anticipating kids being home from school, kids who may rely on the free and reduced lunch program, who aren't going to be getting those meals when they're home for Thanksgiving break, when they're home for winter break. So it definitely, it causes additional stress for families who rely so heavily on those services. And it's also a time when, you see commercials on TV. It's a time of family gatherings and celebrations.
Yeah, so much food,
right? So much
there.
food. So
but you're
much
really
food.
dealing with so little food for some people.
Exactly. So it's almost this contrast between those who can afford it and those who can access it, and those who either don't have the funding for it or they don't have transportation to go pick it up. It's really a tale of two cities.
Before we talk about exactly what you do and how you do it, we say this in some ways is seasonal, but it's year-round. How serious is the issue, or how is it getting worse? Is it getting better in terms of hunger or this thing called food access, food insecurity? Right. What's the problem here?
It's a major problem. It was a problem. It's been a problem for years. Operation Food Search has been working on this for 42 years. It was a problem before the pandemic. Interestingly, for some families during the pandemic, there were resources put in place such as pandemic EBT, which was extra SNAP benefits, stimulus payments, things that help them, in addition to just the community having more opportunities for food to be picked up. So the problem actually, since those supports have gone away, is getting worse again, because families are coming off the effects of perhaps unemployment or the inflation that everybody's facing right now, increasing healthcare costs, utility bills. So there are a lot of families that are struggling. Nationally, the statistic in 2021, it was about 10%. In 2022, recently the USDA just publicized it's about 12% nationally, those who are facing food insecurity.
So let's talk about a couple of words here, hunger and food insecurity. So there are people who are eating, but they're not necessarily getting what they need. Exactly.
So hunger is more the physical sensation of not having enough food in your stomach, versus food insecurity is what people face when they don't have adequate access to the food they need to live healthy lives. So there may be people who are not hungry. They might be, accessing food at the local convenience store, and they're filling their bellies, but they're not filling their bellies with nutritious food that allows them to be productive, kids and adults.
Yeah, I just saw a story about a gas station closing, and one of the people in the neighborhood said, "That's where I do my shopping."
Yes.
Right. So let's talk about Operation Food Search. We've seen in your warehouse all of this food. Now, I've got two questions. Where do you get all that food? But I think really the more interesting thing for me is the logistics of getting it to the right place at the right time. So how do you get the food?
So we get the food from a variety of food donors, retail stores. Schnucks is our top donor. They donated more than $15 million worth of food last fiscal year. Schnucks, Deerbergs, Straub's, event venues like the soccer stadium, Enterprise Center, Busch Stadium, restaurants, local farms. We have a gleaning program where our staff and volunteers go out to local farms and they pick produce that would otherwise get wasted. So that gives us a nice addition of fresh produce.
So where does it go then?
Oh,
that's
then,
the thing. You've got all
yes,
this stuff coming
yes.
in. How do you get it out to the right place?
So we partner with about 170 agencies throughout the region. We actually work in 40 different counties in Missouri and Illinois. but these pantries, shelters, community centers receive food from us. They either come to our warehouse and pick it up on a weekly basis. They get an assigned slot, time of day, day of the week when they come pick up the food. And in some instances, they are assigned to say a Schnucks location that is very close to where they're located, and they pick up the food directly from Schnucks.
So a lot of times we get asked for food. I get bags on my door, my front door,
Yes.
things like that. Are there things that are really needed, and there are things that are really not really needed when you're donating?
Great question, and you may have gotten a bag from the Boy Scouts of America in recent days. They're doing a major food collection. The items that are most helpful for those non-perishable items, those are ones that are protein-rich, nutrient-filled, so canned tuna and canned chicken, what we call a meal in a box, so maybe like a hamburger helper meal kit, soups that have protein in them, spices, canned fruit and fruit juice, vegetables, things that are not in glass containers,
Right.
Preferably no ramen noodles.
Right.
Ramen noodles really have no nutritional value, and kids get burnt.
So a lot of good things that people might find in their pantries that could be donated and can help a lot of people.
Absolutely.
So I want to thank you for joining us. Thank you for the work you do, and I know it's a busy time of year, so thanks for taking the time out for us. This is Kristen Wild. She's CEO of Operation Food Search. Again, thanks for being here, Kristen.
Thank you.
Right.